Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Um, I'm scheduled to have a meeting with the national leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, Professor Banji Akintoye. For some reasons, which I think I can testify to, the network to some of these African countries have been they have been very bad. So network has not been working. For a lot of reasons have not been working. And for this reason, I've not been able to get through to him. I called his PA and the phone was ringing and there was no reply. Um, Again, I've been in this business for a period of time. And people say experience is the best teacher. You cannot buy it, you have to make it. Some people might think, why is he not getting this done? Why is he not getting that right? That's fine. Who knows? In another 10, 15, 20 years of every other person who likes to complain, who likes to see everything perfectly done, it might be better than what it is today. But I, as a person, I have been trying to do the best, to get the best, especially when I want to serve the people, my community. I use the opportunity to make sure that everything is properly done, then put my efforts on telling the truth, nothing but the truth. So it's nothing so un, unexpected. Everything is possible. There's nothing you should not expect. You should expect anything. Yes, the Igbo people can forecast it's going to rain, it's going to snow, it's going to do this. But what nobody can forecast, and I can assure you that I'm right, is we human beings. We can't. We can try as much as possible. The technological advanced countries have tried it many times. They wanted to see if they can read your mind. Yeah, they at the end of they end up trying different kind of devices, lie detector, dark detector, but they end up not getting it right. So it's the way things are is everything is based on trust, and you need to trust me. And if you trust me, the only assurance I can give you is I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to say things as they are. Having said that, I always say it loud. I'm not an angel. I do have time to time when I have to, but not that what you have in mind. Though. So let me welcome you, my viewers, my regulars, people who are expecting to see me. I mean, to see Professor Banji Akintoye and myself. And if it is not, they might, I mean, he might still uh, sign in, but this has happened a couple of times before. And that's why I started by saying network has been an issue. But then again, I don't want to say because of that, I want to call off this show. I am going to do this show. I'm going to go on solo. Then in between, I have a public, I mean, global analyst who I can call him to join me. He has done that before. He's a known face on my show. His name is Shegun Daniel. But then again, let me finish the preamble. Let me finish the opening of this show. Yeah. Part of what I wanted to discuss with Professor Banji Akintoye was the area of his how does he want to rate the ongoing Nigerian governance as we speak. Uh, Again, some people subscribe to it is a Yoruba president, and I say it's not a Yoruba president. As we speak, it's a Yoruba a man running the affairs of Nigeria. Yes, I'm one of the highly interested stakeholder and someone who wants Yoruba nation tomorrow. But again, like I said, I'll be honest with everybody in my dealings. As we speak, it's still a Nigerian country. Yeah, it's a country, not a nation. We all know that. So for me, we just let's get right, because some of the things that has been killing us, Nigerians, and other African countries is because we never see it as it is. We just want to do what we want to do, and in the process, we run into conflicts with so many areas of life. We never get it right, and that's why many African countries are going through this kind of problems as we speak. So today, again, like I said, I would have really loved to talk to Baba about ongoing campaign for actualization of Yoruba nation, and also touch some other area in Africa that will have generally on matters arising. Also, the ongoing looks like it's a wind. Some people will say it's a wild wind, the wild wind of military coups all over the place. It used to be like that about 30 something years ago, where that's everywhere you wake up in the morning. In fact, you are so scared to wake up in the morning in Nigeria that the next sound of music will be bang, bang, bang. You know, that kind of is there's a takeover. Then we got over it. And then 20 years thereafter, 20 something years thereafter, and every person will have thought that things should be better, things should have changed. But I can say, exception will be probably if we want to give this present government a breather, just give him time to get himself together. I mean, I'm believing, I trust him, I like him, I know him, that things will be better. But unfortunately, uh, what we had up to less than 100 days ago, it's not impressing. I'm not impressed as a person, as a Nigerian. Even though I have another nationality, I'm not impressed. And at my age, I have seen it all. I've been through 50, 60 something years of incompetency, bad governance, and so on and so forth. And like I said, nobody can sit me down and say, why are you not saying, no, I'm not going to patch, I'm not going to support what is not. I'm not going to do that. It has been very bad governance in Nigeria. I want to stick to Nigeria. It's been very bad governance in Nigeria. And I don't think we can continue to go on and on like that. So, again, without further ado, let me start by bringing in my backup. My backup is Mr. Shegun Daniel. I use the word backup because I'm grateful, and I don't take it for granted that anytime there is I need additional information or analysis from a highly intelligent guy, loaded, I've always reverted back to him. I've always gone back to him and said, please, even if sometimes at work I say, can you spare me about 10 minutes to do a quick analysis of ABCD? And he has always applied. I want to appreciate you, Shegun Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Madrid. Good evening, our viewers, wherever you are, in London and UK, Nigeria, United States, any part of the world. It's the morning, afternoon, or evening. I say you're all welcome to the program.
Thank you again. I've announced, and I'm sure you heard me speaking when we at the backstage, that this show is originally slated for a meeting with the national leader of Yoruba self-determination movement. For some reasons, again, I want to believe that the network would have been the majority, because there's no reason if Professor Banji Akintoye agreed to come on the show and from nowhere, from no whatever, not here. So I can say with open mind to everybody listening or watching this program that it can only be that reason, or probably got stuck somewhere. That's the truth, but that's fine. But let's continue. Again, I'm going to do what I normally do best. That is looking around with my mirror, my stethoscope all over the place, check what is going on in Africa. But in most cases, I always stick to Nigeria. Is it because I was born there many, many years ago that I still see myself as partly Nigerian and partly British? I'm very proud to say that. That is not gainsaying. That's not accord. That's not shako. You have been on my show a couple of times before, and I've had the pleasure of not only rubbing minds with you, but also taking advantage of most of area of uh, uh, knowledge you have. And today, I want to take advantage of that again. Tell me generally, or tell our viewers generally, what do you think about the ongoing? Do I want to use the word saga? Or how do you want to rate governance in Nigeria as we speak, the last 80 something days?
Um, I will be. I will want to. I want to be objective, and as much as I wanted to be objective, I wanted to be modest as well. One, because there are a few limitations I need to consider, as well as being very factual. These two reasons that it's concerning the limitations are one. Unfortunately, I'm not on ground in Nigeria, so my responses will be drawn from the feelers and the inferences of news information that are filtering through, that I can analyze, cross-check to confirm their validity, and then make certain conclusions on them. So, given that consideration of that isolation, that I'm not in Nigeria at the moment, and the second part being that the informations are coming from a third party, I do my best to make sure that I validate them to fast check it. So based on that, I would say currently, the economic hardship that came with the proposed inauguration of the new administration, which ordinarily ushered in a fresh breath for Nigerian moving forward. That economic hardship has overshadowed the coming of the new administration, particularly on the point of inaugural speech of the president, where he did mention matters regarding the oil subsidy. I think every other thing has snowballed out of that, particularly giving an outlook of the style or ways or manners of governance. The expectation of Nigerians were that this new administration, arrowhead by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a very prolific politician of note, well respected and well endowed, and have shown consistently, or rather, have told Nigerians consistently, he was prepared, he had plans, he had machineries to solve the Nigerian problem. I do not doubt that he does have those things and the qualities. But the manners in which he had gone about administering Nigeria in this administration has called to question those quality of leadership in addressing problem.
Hmm.
Yes, that has been my view.
Okay.
Uh, the mentioning of the particular, like I said, the mentioning of the fuel subsidy removal was um, it came to most Nigerians like a welcome development, and I must give him that. Though to me it was a bad policy, but it was really packaged in such a way that Nigerians welcomed it. Unfortunately, to build on that had become a problem because um, prior to his inauguration, the last administration of Buhari had indicated that this anyway, because his government would not survive more than May 29, that he had no plans, neither do Nigeria can afford to continue the fuel subsidy. So that was crystal clear that as at the end of June, whatever we decide, whether we want to start borrowing, we want to continue borrowing, or we want to manufacture money from nowhere by ways and means to continue financing the subsidy, will be left to the next administration. And so, him taking the gunter and made a claim that, yeah, I will not continue shouldn't be a surprise to Nigerian, yes. But in the mix of it too was the World Bank attempt to intervene and said, we recognize there is going to be a crisis. And that should be given to the World Bank. That if a government in a nation of committee of nations have decided this way, whether by their own advice, that this economic policy is going to create a problem. They offered and said, well, no one has cleared to us up to today. Though in the news it was a loan that they offered the administration of Buhari. We will give you $800 million as a loan to mitigate the effect or the consequences of that policy. The administration of Buhari went further to pass it on to incoming administration. That means Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu was aware that he will inherit $800 million from World Bank to be spent as palliative to cushion the effect of that policy, which he wanted to go ahead with. So these are already soft landing made for him, that he has chosen, this is the way I would go. But what he had not told us in all of the plan is, even as the Buhari administration was leaving and made that contact in consonance with the World Bank to effect a cushioning effect, his own administration that finally put a nail on the coffin had not specifically said these were our plans to cushion that problem. That is terrible. That if you are going, someone that is leaving, and he said, come to my, or World Bank came to, he said, we will give you money to cushion the effect or the consequences, the problem that will be generated if this action are taken. And the one that now wants to take the action is saying, swallow the pill, but don't worry, just manage. Even what he inherited became a problem on how to disburse it. The $800 million that the World Bank gave became a problem of, oh, how do you give it to 1.2 million household, or 2 million household, or is 800 million household, or 1,000 household, whether it's 8,000 naira, whether it's 5. That became a problem on its own. Something that he inherited. Those who have planned and said, enjoy this. to execute it itself became a problem for the new government. So that, to me, is a conundrum around having a good intention and delivering on your objectives.
Right.
That had, and I don't want that to become the hallmark of this administration, because something else did happen again that is showing Nigeria will not be taking 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. The case of the Niger coup plotters.
We're going to come to that in we are
Okay.
going to look
So,
at
yeah, let me quickly round up on that as well, because I
yes.
need to bring to the attention of Nigeria once again. In the
Okay.
past, I did mention it, that let us be frank to ourselves. Subsidy in itself is not wrong. The term subsidy, the use subsidy, the need for subsidy is not in itself a wrong economic idea, a wrong economic policy, a wrong economic concept. It is not. Either in all developed countries, third world countries, Nigeria inclusive, aside from this subsidy as relevant to oil, petroleum products, there are various other subsidies that Nigerian government is putting in the economy. So the term, the use of the word subsidy should not become some kind of an hydra-headed problem for Nigeria. No, it should not be conceived in such a way. There are subsidies going all around in Nigeria. In fact, it is Nigeria that is subsidizing our government. That means we are putting people in place of governance to enjoy bountiful lifestyle paid for by Nigerian treasury. That is like subsidizing their life too, because they're not using their own paid vehicle, they're not using their own rented apartment. That's simply meaning of subsidy. We are subsidizing people in government's life. If they can enjoy that, what is difficult in subsidizing the life of other Nigerians? So the use of the word subsidy is not in any way wrong. People should not categorize it as a problem for Nigeria. But the implementation, the execution of the subsidy as allocated, as referred, as connected to petroleum products had become a scam, had become a fraud in the hands of those that were to manage it. So it is subsidies management that was a problem. If you want to fix a problem, you must understand what it is to provide the solution. Once you shift your eye from the ball, you shift your eye from the truth of the problem, you'll be scavenging for nonsense. For Nigeria to go in the foray of, we will remove the subsidy from petroleum product, was a wrong step. It was to address how that subsidy was being managed. That is the problem. That would have been the solution. How do we tackle the inefficiency, the ineffectiveness, this mismanagement, the trouble, and the clog in the management of this subsidy? That will have been bring succor to Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to take you to another, but I want our listeners, our viewers, to understand that from our own experience with my education, and also with my experience living abroad the last 50 something years, it's just clearly that you cannot, no African countries can achieve governance with a heavy deficit of non-educated, not informed illiterate masses. You can't. Because to a great extent, we now see that most of the African countries leader just rule at will, at random, at the caprice. They just do what they want to do. Because as far as they're concerned, they have been able to successfully weaponize the masses. The poverty is like it becomes something that have been and ingrained on the people, and the people don't know what to do. So they just. But when we get to the point of discussing the ravaging, the ongoing military coup all over the place, I hope we wait to deal with that again. So sometimes the position of prime minister, presidency in Africa is like it's a trapping place. It shows clearly, even if you were to know what to do, if you become a president, Mr. Daniel, maybe probability of the people that surround you, the cohorts, the cohorts. You understand what I mean by that? The people that surround you are going to be more interested in leading you in the wrong way, not telling you what exactly is right. Because I can appreciate the problem of someone who is the president of a country, that he needs to have octopus. He cannot be doing the job of 36 states, for example. He cannot be everywhere, and that's why the constitution has been so nice to provide for ministers from all this, so at least they be able to take care of that. But there's one thing we have in common. The one thing we have in common with all most people who are in governance is they care less about the people. The welfare of the people is nothing to them, because if it is something to them, I cannot imagine that a country will not be able to say we have life, we have basic things of life, no road, no water, no schools, nothing, and they are still surviving. Sometimes I ask myself, I say, God, how are they doing? The level of their resiliency is unimaginable. You can't. But let's move quickly to the other area which I want to treat with you. Now, again, as we speak, there has been so many things going on in terms of political wild wind. Uh, we used to notice that is the area of where about 6 countries now in West Africa have to welcome, you use my word, welcome military junta, because they feel relieved and say, well, thank God. Let's start with the very last one of Gabon. A Gabon head of state who has his father, like it looked like the grandfather of his father bought Gabon. Maybe the Gabon was their enclave, was their own place. And he was there for many years. Then he passed on. Then this new one got there. He's been there 2 times. He's trying to try his third time. In between, there is someone who has been engulfed with the problem of he has stroke 3 times. Right? He was using about 2 or 3 of us walking sticks, and he still want to continue to govern. I want you to look into cause and causes of this amount of greed. Even though maybe I've mentioned part of it, I want you to analyze to our viewers what exactly is going on in the head of these people, them not knowing that the area in Agege, they have no light for the last 1 year. Somewhere in Lishon, there's no water. Somewhere in other places, there's no basic things of life, and they still want to be seen as governor, chairman, president, and so on, and ministers. So, what can you tell? How can you break it down to our viewers to understand this cause and causes of this problem?
Thank you, Otuba. And let me quickly allude to the state, the effort I made in my earlier comment. Because by my training, I'm not only going to be looking at problems, I love to give solutions to problems whenever I identified one. Regarding the uh, subsidy matters that I did mention, that it is the management of the subsidy that is the problem. The solution therein should have been um, the president, as well as summoning his security operatives and the intelligence and all that, should have intensified efforts in trying to unravel, maybe prior to his inauguration, had gotten those intelligence in his fingertips, or even after the inauguration, should have ensured that he got those information, how that mismanagement, a colossal waste and scam was being perpetrated under that subsidy regime. Those who are involved, unfortunately or fortunately for him, unless I remain to be to be quoted, I mean I remain to be um, faulted on this. There's only one organization, so there is no dragnet that needs to cover so many people. There's only one organization responsible for this subsidy thing, and by extension, another one that probably needs to have a good look at what is going on there. So the two organizations that are actually NMPC and Central Bank.
Okay.
Central Bank keeps a tab of how much is going in there and how much NMPC is remitting to the federal government. The NMPC hold all the records of who they paid subsidy money to. So that way, it is easier to locate who takes this money. If NNPC itself is screaming that the subsidy money had become a fraud and it's being perpetrated by itself, I don't see why their record should fault that. That these are the people that took the scam money. And so the government could recover it. So the idea that, you know what, we will let other people suffer for the error, which is not an error, for the corrupt practice of few people who we can go after and recover this money, even if not in full. You get it? What's a diversionary? So what I would have employed was for them, even if they're going to finally say, you know what, it might not be very healthy for us to continue, because if I put in new people there, I still don't trust they can manage it properly. That would be fine. It will all go down with us that, yeah, okay, the subsidy will eventually have to go because of trust deficit. We cannot get angels to run the management. It's a very good policy, it's vibrant, it's all this, but I do not trust anyone that could do it. So for the reasons of that trust deficit, I will not institute any other management to manage it. But those who have taken it before, I will recover them. You get it? That will be still some kind of discipline and senses that, yes, this government knows where the problem is and addressing the problem. So I will recap again that the answer to it should have been to go after and recover, if not fully, part of what those who are involved themselves are screaming, even to the public, that we have perpetrated a fraud.
Okay.
I don't see where people will put on their head, I'm a fraudster. You know what? But look over me. Yeah, that's what NMPC have succeeded in doing. To say that we perpetrated fraud, and we know those to whom we conjointly do this fraud. But you know what? Our guy said we should look elsewhere. That's the way it has been. So coming to the matters that you have raised, that the seemingly wildfire of coup ravaging Africa in a full force, kind of. And well, it will be a good sign to those who are, until now, who need to have a rethink about their longevity in holding to power. Though I'm not a crusader for military takeover, because the military men too are no different. They are Gabonese, they are Nigerians, they are Burkinabes. They are no different from those in the political arena. The only thing is because they probably sympathize with the public, and the inefficiency or the high-handedness of those political class, who are themselves have become more like a political junta, like a dictator of their own, and so lost touch with the current event or current feelings of the society in which they govern. They have become God to themselves. And I will say that the recent event have taught me another lesson. It was like an eye opener for me when I saw Ali Bongo, his latest video, where he was asking people, his friends, to shout. He wanted them to shout for himself, that where he is, he does not know what is going on. I wonder when he locked up people in prisons and all that, maybe it's a bit of that pill that when people are isolated, you just lock them up and all that. You get a feeling of what those who are probably his political opponents. And again, he said they should shout, whether he was referring to those who are within Gabon or those who are his friends abroad, but whether local or internal or external. He forgot that during the election, he asked the internet to be switched off so that people can no longer reach out to. So I don't know whether they will be able to shout for him without access to mass communication. Then lastly, it shows that yeah, it was instructive for me when I looked at his video anyway, that yeah, he's a very feeble man. He showed the that in spite of this paraphernalia of office, the the imagery created by kind of sense of security and high powered of their office, that they are actually humans after all. Yes. I mean, Ali Bongo was talking about his son was taken somewhere, his wife was taken somewhere. Where he is there alone, he doesn't know what is going on.
I think I have a caller. Go on, I'll call the caller back. Go on.
That's a man that shows his weakness. Every human has got weaknesses. It shows that he's human after all, that he does not understood what was. Again, there is the man that has been he's been attacked by stroke, or he's have a couple of events of stroke in the ask myself, what made this man a strong man? Then it must be those who are around him. It was that the entrapment of that office. Here is a man that is not enjoying full benefit of his health any longer. But some people within the corridors of power would probably impress it on him that is the only one that can do it. He's the only one that can govern Gabon. He's the only one that the people wanted. In fact, in his hospital bed, they are praying for him that he should not die. If not, the country will not survive. He had become their God. So these are the ideas that trapped this kind of leaders, that they lose touch with reality, do not know what exactly is going on. Just like now that he's now isolated from that power and he does not even know what is going on again. That's the converse of the situation. I mean, a contrast of the situation. You know, that he does not. So I want to sympathize. Let me bring it home. I want to sympathize with Nigerian President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And I've said this prior to now, that I have seen these things In fact, I think there was a time I was having this discussion with you, October, that there is a trapping in that office that people who eventually get to political power, most time, I'm a sociologist as well. I mean, I'm a student of sociology, and I do appreciate that humans are not stagnant. We are an evolving animal. We are constantly not evolving in the terms of Charles Darwin evolution and all that. So evolving in the sense that our attitude, our mannerisms are developing at every time. New things happen to us that shape our mind, that inform our decisions, that inform the lifestyle we want to take and how we want to address matters. So we are constantly changing. Change is a constant effect on human. So there are those who probably have a good concept in going into politics, but when they get there, they get trapped because of the environment to which they need to operate. Yeah, that environment might stifle them from fact and be representing fictions to them and let them feel, because they begin to shed the toga of their individuality to give delegated authority for those to feed them with what they want to know. And so when you surround yourself with yes men and women who probably see you as the almighty, the holy, this and that, and tells you falsehood, false narration, that those who criticize you are those who does not want you well, those who are your opposition, those who are not. And you have lost touch with yourself that, you know what, the best way for me to move forward is to listen to criticism.
Mm.
Still living with that, it will help you. But the moment you switch to where you think criticism is to bring you down, then you are on that road path to trouble. So I said that there's this trapping in the office that those who engage and who get into political authority, political powers, sometimes lose touch, not deliberately because they wanted to do so. No, not deliberately. I mean, we have seen leaders in Africa that marshaled out against the imperialists, who saved their country from colonialists, who mandated, who walked the walk, who talked the talk to bring their country to independence. A very good one is Mugabe. But where does he lose it? That after the independence and becoming the leader, he had lost touch with, you know what? The devil has gone. We need to let our people. I mean, at those days, he probably looked around and said, I can't find my people moving forward. There were too many draconian problems, laws, or whatever, shackled down their throat from the colonialists. We need, or particularly in their own case, it was even an African country because they got their independence from South Africa. So it's to say that we wanted to get this done away with. But now, for you to replace it with a structure that becomes an encumbrance on the same people without you recognizing it, that is the problem. And that problem sometimes does not engineered from the person, but is engineered by those who surround them. And that's why I'm looking at on Bongo, that here is a feeble man. Here is a man of weakness. Here is a man that could not lift his hand properly, but he's being propped up and being told to run for another term of election. That is the only one that can do it. Is the only one that can deliver it. And so the trapping of the office is an enormous problem for any political leader that wants power.
In Africa, you can also say in Africa, because
well, yes,
40, 30s.
My own solution to this, because like I said, that had been my practice. If I identify the problem, and for those who are yearning to go into political office, I hope they will take this to pocket, is when you finally attain, or even before you attain a political power, try to have those who are close to whom you share the same vision, to whom you empathize with the people. Even if among the people, those who you considered are in the eye of the storm, that wanted that change that you intended to initiate when you get to power, have them very close to you. But once you get political power, don't bring them to power. Don't reward them with political offices, with political grandeurs, with political contracts. Don't in any way influence them with any political largesse. You know why? You can reward all others who probably are in the struggle for you to say political party, political structures, and all that. You cannot be the prime minister at the same time all the secretary of state or the ministers. Yes, you have to delegate this power. Do that, but have a clique of friends who are very, men and women, who are very close to you, to whom you know understood what is going on in the locality, the community, and the society at large. Maintain that thread of friendship, of closeness with them. Like I said, don't reward them in any political favor. Don't. So that when you want to have a very factual test of the public pulse, they will be the one to tell you. You will not rely only on those whom you have rewarded, on those whom you have given delegated authority to carry out your instructions, on those who are very close to you, who are your aides giving you advice. You will not. You will first check with this group that they are feeling what exactly is out there. They can tell you whether your policy is entrenched and is bringing succor and comfort to the public, or if it is not. Even as well planned the promise or the policy might be, if it is having problem in its execution and management, they will let you know, because you obviously tell them that, oh, for agriculture, I want food security. I've marshaled 6 trillion to be spent on this. How come they are still complaining? I thought my minister said they have done this, they've done that, and they expected these changes. And he's reporting to me that those changes are there. But if you have those who are telling you farmers are not getting those fertilizers, farmers cannot harvest to those silos, their farms are not being irrigated, these are still going on, you will double check those facts that are being given to you. You will know that this is not what it is as we are being told on the other side. That is what to me could bring you to reality of life. Have those to whom you trusted, to whom you know, so that it's not coming only from those who will criticize you. It's coming from those, and let them know you are not rewarding them.
Right.
When you get the power, you will not reward them. They will be your eyes, they will be your guide in what is going on in the public.
Thank you very much, Chegun Daniel. Again, just a quick announcement again. Unfortunately, my main guest of today, Professor Banji Akitoye, the national leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination movement, was unable to come, and even though I have not had any message from him, I hope everything is okay with him. And so in between, I brought in one of my regular global analysts, Chegun Daniel, and I'm very happy to have him. Please, the remaining time, if you have anything to contribute, you can send in the text, or you can also call. The number to call is scrolling on the screen. You can use that to contribute, and if you don't, we'll continue with the show. I try to do minimum 1 hour or 1 hour and some minutes, and then we'll call it a date. As usual, this program is to enlighten, is to bring update to people. It's not blogging, it's not anything sensation. It's just something that I believe people can learn from it, they can take advantage of it. Second, again, let me start going to uh, another area, which is the Yoruba self-determination uh, movement, which has been going on for a while. I'm a member. I remain a member. I want to die a member of that campaign group, uh, despite the fact that I know there's also still some area that can be discussed, that we should discuss, that we must discuss in order to get things right. Um, as you speak, one of the things I would have really loved to ask Professor Banji Akitoye is update, because I get regular phone calls from different people from different quarters asking me, uh, we don't know what is going on. What exactly is the problem? But one thing I said to them is, I might not be able to give them a full information or an update, because I my retreat in my going back to my cocoon does not necessarily mean that my eyes and whatever is not outside. I see, I can still peek, I can still see what is going on. So really, um, but let me use your wealth of experience to throw more light about this movement. This movement, I have heard some people saying, "Oh, so in another 8 years, listen, and that 8 year, so we start again." So I don't know, I cannot read their mind, but what I can say to myself, what I can take that to mean is, oh, is that going to be the next 8 years? We will not make progress, we will not do anything, or do we have to wait again? What happens if the people we dread so much, we always think, oh, they are the one blocking us, oh, they are the one that are not making us make progress? So in 8 years' time, we have to deal with that for another 8 years, 16 years. So the way it's going, we might end up doing PLO race. They've been in it for how many years? I know a lot of people will not like to hear that, but that is the truth. Again, like I said, I am sitting down here in my makeshift studio saying the truth, and I've no doubt in my mind for those who don't want to hear the truth. Well, what can I say? So, Mr. Daniel, is it right? Is it safe to say that we are not seeing? I'm one of the people in the media that I've not been gravitated to. We getting this thing right. We are still nothing. People don't want to hear Plan B. They don't want to hear that it's a political process. They just, some people are even investing in it has to be war. Can war get us to urban nation?
Well, to quickly answer that, what cannot? In any way, it cannot. Uh, it will be counterproductive. It will be devastating, and it will be a colossal loss for the Yoruba race if we have to go that direction. Having said that, I think the idea of the notion, I wouldn't say it's an idea, the notion for having a Yoruba nation is a very noble cause, a very, very noble cause, one that is should be welcoming. However, those who have been saddled with the responsibility, or those who nominated, or those who arrogated to themselves of having been in the saddle to bring this to reality, are not having grasp. This is a personal observation. Are not having grasp of the procedures, the processes, the 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 requirements to achieve such noble cause. Two is that they it appears to me that they are scrambling for whatever could bring relevance, not necessarily focus to the objective of this noble cause. I have consistently maintained, and I stand to be corrected, unless, which is an exception, what you have described earlier, that if it is a violent route, which is war, that's the only alternative, which I do not subscribe to. It has in some instance, have brought independence or freedom to some countries. I mean, those who have agitated for freedom, but we have seen the aftermath of it. That process itself that they have proven.
Can you help our viewers to tell us which country or countries that have achieved autonomous, I mean, independence through war?
Okay, yeah, well, I can mention just few, particularly in Africa. Eritrea. Eritrea came out of Ethiopia. The president there now had been there for 33 years. He had become a dictator. The country's economy is flat on the floor. So of what benefit was it? He fought several wars with Ethiopia. It is out of that weariness that both of them had to agree. So of what benefit has the nationhood been to the Eritrean?
If I hardly hear about Eritrea the last.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Another one which was recent is South Sudan. Came out of Sudan. From day two, the euphoria of independence vanished, because the same country plunged itself into eternal conflict of wars, strife and civil war within that nation, of a new birth nation. So of what use has the violence created, war, have it generated peace, growth, development, harmonious relationship for such countries? What's the purpose? What's the use? What's the good?
Yeah, but then again, let me quickly interject you there. We have this belief that the Yoruba is going to be an exception. That because the large collection, now let me finish. Because with the large collection of brains and resources that we have, we can play with that. We can make a difference. The examples of Eritrea and that of South Sudan is very likely not to be our own portion.
Okay, as I would like to agree with you on that, I need just to position them properly. If we regard ourselves as people that are well educated, intelligent, and prolific, are we agreeing that we will go the way of the nuisance? That is, those who have chosen to go and get what we desiring by way of war. So if we're going to bring to bear that those are intelligent, I believe we should not go that way. So the idea that our consequences will be like them will not arise. But if we are contemplating that we too, in accepting to ourselves that one, we are intelligent, we are prolific, we are well endowed, we are this, we are that, and we want to choose the way of the fools to achieve our aims, I think we should not discountenance the consequences of what the fools are facing.
So we are likely to be doomed.
Well, unless we are going to turn ourselves into angels and said, you know what, we will deal, the war will come to bring these consequences, but we'll probably feel like an ostrich, that we will bury our head in the ground and feel it's not happening. So that to me, but if we want to consider that, yes, all these characteristics you have given us, that as a Yoruba, we are intelligent, we are endowed, and all that, then we should do the things the way of the intelligent people.
I think I have a caller. Let me see. I have a caller. Hello, caller. Do you want to contribute to the show? Hello? Okay, go on, sir.
So I believe if that's the case, then we should do it the way of the intelligent people. We should go about it intelligently, academically, sensibly, and meaningfully, so that we can achieve that aim. You get it? But otherwise, if you are saying we will have our intelligence, but we want to display it in fully, then I don't know how that mix could give us the desired result. So I believe that if all those qualities that we claim that we have, which I doubt sometimes though, that we have, could have any play in all of this, then we should be able to articulate ourselves, articulate our ideas, articulate our our resources.
Our forest.
Oh yes, on how to deploy them to achieve this aim. Now coming to the Yoruba nation notion itself, I said it's a noble one, which every Yoruba descent should have cause um, to 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 abide with, have a cause to say, yes, I signed up for this. Okay? But it must be recognized within the confine of the fact that it is a political question. It's a political process, and therefore need a political resolution. That the only way this matter could be resolved, this matter could be achieved, this matter could be deliberated on, is on a political dimension. Yes, it's on a political dimension. If you think you have that intelligent sagacity, bring it to the fore, bring it to the table. Challenge those whom you think are inferior to you, on that intelligent debate. Why do you say to yourself, I'm intelligent, and you cannot bring it to the table to challenge to those whom you consider as fools? Then you must be living in ignorance. I have seen, I'm a full-blooded Nigerian and a full-blooded line blood of Yoruba, kith and kin. Yes, I grew up thinking, believing Yoruba race, Yoruba group are the most intelligent people in that. That's the perception I had growing up. But experience have shown me, interaction have shown me that how can people who consider themselves intelligent for 60 or 40 or 50 years consistently claiming that the fools are ruling them? Something is amiss. That those who are less intelligent to them are the one that is cowing them, are the one that is manipulating them, are the one that have put them in the pocket, are the one that is barring their progress. What is the meaning of intelligence? How then do they ascribe to themselves that they are intelligent? That their own intelligence cannot manage fools. Rather, it is fools that is managing them. Something is wrong.
Are you sorry to interject you? Are you saying that all what we can show for is the qualification of being an accountant, engineer, doctor, or whatever, that we have not been manufacturing? We've not showing the when you look at the Igbos, this is the time to say the truth. We've not been showing even ourselves that we are master, we are generals in manufacturing goods, but we are very good at engaging ourselves in parties, organizing parties, HOB and other kind of things, and showing off, leading people to different kind of occasions. But these are facts that need to be said, they need to be told. Is that what you are referring to? That we say we are highly educated. We do. I must say we usually do very well, because when I look at our Yoruba people that are doctors, lawyers, engineers outside the country, they're doing very well. They lead a team of people in hundreds, and they excel. I have seen a Yoruba man earning almost about £290,000 in the UK. Is in the NHS business. I understand, but what you are saying, it looks like rings like is strike a kind of accord with me. That what exactly are we showing? Where is these are powers of we know it all, we are superior, we are this and we are that. We of recent, which I'm going to take you to the next. We have recent we start fighting each other about religion. So we are unable to manage that locally, because when I look at the 36 states of Nigeria and our zone of 6 or 7 or whatever, we are still struggling to manage basic things, little things. We are unable to create basic amenities for individual states. So where's the magnanimity? Where's the that we are this, we are that?
That
Continue.
that's what I wanted to point it out. That this personal aggrandizement that we are this, we are that, is making us lose focus of what is real. It's making us lose because we are arrogating to ourselves and we're living in the full paradise of this is what it is. Whereas the reality on ground doesn't show the same. And that's why I cannot correlate somebody who said, I'm the best of this, best of that, and all that. Yet, it's like somebody who is a professor and said I'm subservient to somebody who is still who has a primary school certificate. And in his intelligence, he cannot think a way out of how to change the model. And consistently, his own son became a professor and still becomes subservient to the son of the primary school leaver, who himself too was just a primary school leaver. And that goes on and on. And the professor is still saying to himself that he must be an intelligence of the book. He does not live intelligence of reality. That's the thing. And this is transcending into our lifestyle, that we are believing to ourselves. In fact, in the height of the Yoruba nation imbroglio, there were those who are already claiming, we have achieved it, we have done it, we proclaim, we will nationalate, we will associate, we will demonstrate, we will nationalate. All manners of nomenclature came into picture.
If I can quickly interject you there again, I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked to my bones, because here I am that when I wake up, I do get clips or messages from Nigerians who I know that they have good education, still believing in one of impostor, one of
Yes,
interloper, whatever, that
yes.
still believing, that still saying to them that they already registered, Yoruba nations already recognized, that all
Yes.
they're waiting for is just to do a delay. A delay is like just to take over from the governors. Well, you're right to say, if with the education we have, we're unable to manage the fools among us.
Not
Then
fools among us. Even those who are educated are sometimes that ignorant. And
it's unbelievable.
yes. And that's why I said that will be our challenge for us to understand what intelligence is, and different from what book certification and all that is all about. No, they are quite different. They are world apart. You get it? They are world apart. Bringing strategy, bringing understanding, bringing mechanism in achieving results are different things. Rather than just bookworm, you study. Some people they are gifted with academic blessings. That all they do is read and take an exam and pass. Read, take an exam and pass. And they become certified and all that. But if you ask them to deploy whatever they have read into practice, it is no. So their chosen profession will be to go to the classroom and repeat what they have read in the book.
All right.
You get it, to bring it to life. They cannot. It's a no-no. It's a conduit on its own that they cannot unravel, even within themselves.
Okay.
So the best they can perform, and they have become professor, they have become this. Yes. If the society love those titles, they will get them. Yes. But bring it to bear, they cannot transform. They cannot do that. You get it? So the best position for them is for them to repeat the same that they have studied or they have crammed over the year for oncoming generation in the classroom.
It's very, very unfortunate. I also want to use this opportunity. I think I still have about 10 more minutes or 15 more minutes to play with, as long as Mr. Shegun Daniel is there.
Sorry, sir. I quickly want to address one issue that you mentioned about those who are talking of after 8 years. If this administration was able to finish one term and get to being that the head of the affairs is the Yoruba man. Some are already considering like it's a low-cost year, that this 8 years, then it's after then that they will consider what happens to Yoruba nation. I mean, now what a skewed mind.
Very, 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 very skewed.
What a skewed mind. I mean, are you saying we just remain in abeyance, we become moribund, or we become hibernated just for those 8 years, and suddenly we now resurface and say, oh, now because it has gone to the north, we begin another campaign or agitation? Are you kidding me?
Well, that's
if that is a problem, let me give you a solution. The solution to that is this: we can use that 8 years to articulate, to bring together, to bring the fortune of the Western Nigeria, that this state that formed the Western Nigeria should begin to work, dissipate energy.
I think we lost the sound. I think we lost the sound. Okay.
Those states are Yoruba states. Let us see what transformation, what integration will happen then for us to know that we are going to a vibrant one. I mean, let us bring back the idea of that region, that this region formed a state. After all, when we have the region, there were local districts. So let's take the states more like the districts within the region. So they they still work.
What?
So that in the eventuality that moving forward, because as we do that, the campaign will go alongside it, as well as the engineering of its political structure. Because like I said, the question of Yoruba nation is a political one. Reorientation about getting the political class, particularly the legislature, because that's where this debate needs to take place anyway. Particularly the legislature, the legislative houses, that you have a representation there. That is what these 8 years could be used for. It's not to fold arms and say after 8 years we're now agitating or we are campaigning and we're thinking of the way of war.
Yeah, but then let me quickly say this to you. That's not exactly as some people believe is going to come out. What some people are saying as in between the next 8 years, the prayers are like miracle or kind of Basbos will bring Basbos may be a mini war arrangement, but they are believing, they are saying that in between it could happen. Well, for me as a political analyst,
that this will engineer that political process going forward. I'm not saying that it cannot happen within. That's why I said the attention should be on the legislative houses, political structures, political powers in the There's going to be another cycle of election before the 8th year. This is just for 4 years. There's going to be another cycle of election. So we can prepare ourselves to hold that legislative houses so that we can have a voice there. We can have somebody tabled it before the National Assembly. And I've said this before, even if it's just 3 senators, even if it is 2, their voice will have a profound effect more than all the so-called go to the street, Mofu Engbadi, Ayetawa and all that, that will go on the street and say, demonstrate, the police cannot kill. After all, they will be killed by police anyway. Yes, the effect.
I think we are having issues with my
one getting up and saying that I am putting before this house today a proposal by my constituency and by extension the region. Nowadays they call it zone anyway. Yeah, the zone of my birth, of my place. Yes, that we want autonomy out of this system. Yes, that itself go far and wide. If we are intelligent people, let us deploy this.
All right, issue with the network. I thought it's a problem with network from Africa, but it looks like these days it has been an issue issue of the networks, like is becoming nationwide, is becoming national. I think the more we have Zuckerberg doing what is possible, who knows? Maybe that is also bringing new ideas into the software. Let me quickly use this opportunity to read some of the my viewers' comments, and then we're going to round up. I'll be doing another show hopefully tomorrow. And well, my good friend Janet Fashakin from America, she said trust is huge. Nice to be with me or to be here. Yeah, trust is huge, and that is also part of the biggest problem we export. We to a great extent, some of us are very, very dishonest. We're not doing the right thing, and I just hope. And I'm not too sure whether how many prayers we're going to eliminate that from our structure. Then money relax. I want to appreciate. Well done, sir. I also said again, more wisdom for you, sir. The same Mabel Chie, we all know the beginning of war, but no one knows how it ends. That's true. I don't think it is advisable for the Yoruba nation to seek war as an alternative. Koiki Media, we have 72 representatives in Abuja. Do we think any one of them will listen to us? I want to leave that question. Shegun Daniel, get that again, the question from Koiki Media. We have 72 representatives in Abuja. Do we think any one of them will listen to us? I want to address that, but just let me finish the remaining 2 contributions here. All these representatives are aware of this agitation, but they are looking away until Gbasgbos get to them. And then it's still the same from Mr. Koiki Media. Another part of his contribution is all those at the House of Assembly at the states know that we can't sit down and negotiate, but definitely they don't any to sit down with the Yoruba Nation campaigners. Well done to our guests. Well, but I think the one that compasses all what Mr. Koiki was saying there is all these the 72 representatives in Abuja, do we think any of them will listen to us? What's your take on that?
Of course, they can listen. They will listen to us. They can listen to us. They should listen to us. What I don't subscribe to in this kind of comment is these people are defeatists. They will start off by telling you it is impossible. They will start off by telling you people will not, our politician will not. Then why are you seeking for it? If we take out the issue of violence out of it, if we all agree it's not going to be war, it's not going to be violence, are we lost in our own strategy? Are we lost in our own thinking? Why should we now defeat ourselves ab initio that, oh, our politician will not do our bidding? Oh, those who they will get trapped in Abuja, money is the problem. They will get it. We are already, then we should not move forward. We should not even think about it. Unless we are harboring within ourselves some sentiment that it is still going to be violent. If you are committed, if you believe, if you want something done, if you entrust somebody to do it, and you see their capability not to do it yourself. Yes. That's the thing.
Mr. Daniel, quick.
Pardon me, Otumba. The truth is, we cannot start off with defeated. I don't sit down in the group of people who are pessimists. I don't enjoy it.
Oh, Shade. German will see Shade. Shade means
yes, I don't know how I have to be a party to it. If you're saying, oh, Yoruba nation is desirable, and we're saying this is the way we should go, and you're saying, we can't get it that way. So, how then are you saying you are dreaming? How then is it noble to you? What makes you think, what's your strength of perseverance? Where is your strength of continuity? Where is your strength? They are in saying, you know what? I will continue until these people, if it is one, if it is two, if it is three, in their numbers, they will come to see the reason why, and then they will begin to turn over. Yes, and I've told somebody again that even consider Hausa Fulani as our problem. Are we lacking in intelligence in infiltrating them too? Yes. What makes you think there are no radicals? There are not those who are intelligent and activists in the North too, who share this idea that, you know what, another one nation too could be beneficial to them. And that nation starts from inside there. Why are we always looking for this quick fix that unless we raise our cutlasses, guns, or whatever, those will give it to us? Why are we not thinking out strategically on that? That, you know what, it should be a double-edged sword. On both ways we will develop and robustly put our campaign here, and we will engineer the change from those who we consider as adversary too. That is thinking. That is putting forward ideas that could bring to bear. But when you say this, people say, hey, it can't happen, they won't do it. It will never get. Why then are you thinking? Why then are you aspiring?
Let me add this, Shegun Daniel. Let me quickly add this. That's two things. The first one, the issue of wanting to go.
There is laziness of ideas.
Yeah, and the first my interjection is this. I have never subscribed to Basbos. I don't even know the meaning of Basbos until maybe a couple of months ago. I don't. That is the truth. I don't. Well, of course, I'm not going to say I don't know about war. I started working 1966. That was when the the Igbo have left in drove to want to fight Nigeria, and they ended up not winning. That again, for me, that will always resonate. That will always make me to believe you hardly can achieve anything by war. And most importantly, I think our people who ever listening and whoever may listen to this as time goes on should listen to this. If we want to go by the way of Gbasgbos or war, whatever, do not forget that geographically structured, the congruence, or how do you say it,
Yes,
Nigeria, Yoruba land will still remain
of course.
borderline with
God
other
bless.
states. So
That's
why should
why,
we want to get the place by force?
of
If we get
course,
the place by force, we will not. None of us will be able to sleep because
we
Monday
will
to
still live in
Friday
fear.
they are not going to be. They are not going to be called mouthriders. They'll be called warmonger. They'll be threatening us. They'll be. So we need to understand that, and this is very very important. This is also part of the message I want to pass to our people. Let us
Yes,
do this thing sensibly. Let us get this
yes,
thing properly, and there's no problem in it. You are talking also about the problem of the issue of we have these representatives, and Mr. Koiki is one of the highly respected campaigner. He also will acknowledge the fact that I'm one of the people that says if these 72 people are not speaking our terms, are not speaking, are not doing our bidding, let us replace them. How do we replace
yes.
them? That is when I come with the idea with one more
If you
person
have the numbers,
that we can replace them. That was the idea of Plan B. Oh,
good.
the whole
Yes,
the whole large number of people say Plan B because we still don't trust ourselves. But in the caveat here is we cannot get this thing by force. If we get it by force, we will not leave it by we cannot leave it by force. At one
yes.
time, we will need to sit down and talk. And at this one, finally, I want to appreciate everybody for those who watched. Please help me share, like, subscribe to my channel. Maybe subsequently, even though it's not going to be monetized so immediately, but subscribe to the channel so I can see that some people who have been informed that Otumba, who is going to do a talk show, they joined. I want to appreciate that. Well, I think this is all what I have time to take with you. I want to appreciate you, but finally,
Okay.
I want to say,
Can I quickly add something?
yeah,
Yeah, there is this word they said Yoruba Ronu, and I believe it is time for a rethink in Yoruba now. Yeah. It is what we have said. I hope most Yorubas will listen, and even all Nigerians will listen and
yes,
take a clue from it. Yeah, even if we separate as nations and stand on our own, we will still be very relevant to each other.
yes,
The Eastern Nigeria cannot suddenly become independent and be relocated to Middle East. No,
it's
it's
not
still
possible.
going to be on that land of Eastern Nigeria. The Western Nigeria will still remain there as a Yoruba nation, as well as the Northern Nigeria as Arewa. So whether we like it or not, we are congruent to each other. We are definitely going to be
That's it.
mixing and
That's it.
feeling with each other. So this idea that is going to be achieved by then that means we're not going to have our two eyes closed when we want to have our sleep.
That's what I
So
said. Yeah.
I think there is a need for us to have a rethink in that direction.
Thank you.
And anything that we put our attention to is achievable
It is.
only in a noble way. We should, we can, and we will achieve this if we bring our senses to bear on them. So Yorubas, I want to pray that we can put this course and pull it through and we will achieve. So for that reason, I want to thank you for your time and for inviting me.
Thank you very much. You're going to come again and again and again because it's nice to have somebody you think alike, somebody that can give you the correct perspective, the correct way things are done. I also want to round up and say I still want to thank my the national leader of Yoruba self-determination country, my man, my leader. For some reasons, very unusual. I'm sure he's going to get in touch with me to let me know what happened. But that's fine. The program was intended to, have a meeting with him, but it has not happened. Hopefully next time. So Viewers all over the world, thank you very much. I want to appreciate everybody for coming. Thank you and bye bye.
Bye.